Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Shonen Saint, and today we're going to be doing another video on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now in my last video I talked about a wish list of characters that I would hope to see in Sparking Zero, and that wish list really did not contain any character that had returned in the past Budokai Tenkaichi games. And I did that purposely because in my mind there is a good chance that those characters will all come back. And I thought about it for a little bit and I said, well, let's think about it is, what if not every single character from that game comes back? Now we do know, like, obviously the obvious characters are going to come back. Your Super 17s, Omega Shenrons, Coolers, Bojacks, Broly's, Goku, Vegetas. Those characters, I have a strong feeling, obviously will be in this game. But today I wanted to talk about a handful of characters that were in those games that I do want to see come back, but I think have a less likely of a chance to come back. And I just want to kind of discuss them real quick, because why I feel these characters should return, or why characters, or at least a couple of them, should return. And yeah, let's kind of talk about a couple of these characters. The first one I have on this list is actually one that I think is more likely to come back than the others, and that is Master Roshi. Now Master Roshi he was in Budokai Tenkaichi 2 and Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Now, I don't think he made it in the first game, and he's always been a fun character. He doesn't show up in Dragon Ball games far too often, but he was a DLC character in Fighters, so let's just kind of put a little hope out there. But I think Master Roshi definitely should come back. I mean, he was a member of the tournament. In the manga, Master Roshi is constantly having a fight in the manga. He showed up during the Resurrection of F event. He was in the Tournament of Power. He fought during the Moro arc. So I think Master Roshi is definitely going to come back. Would love to see a skin for his Dragon Ball Super look. But yeah, I just want to mention Roshi real quick. The next character I want to talk about is a character I think has a very less likely chance to come back, but it's a character I desperately want to see come back. And that is Arale from Dr. Slump, or from the General Blue arc. Now, Arale was one of my, at the time, I did not appreciate Arale in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 when I was younger, because I did not know about the existence of Dr. Slump. I only knew her from the General Blue saga. But now that I'm older, I love Arale's inclusion, and I love the Penguin Village inclusion. I think Arale definitely deserves to come back. I want to see Arale come back. And, you know, people would say, oh, well, she's not really relevant. I mean, she showed up in a couple episodes of Dragon Ball Super. She was in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I think Arale has stayed relevant enough where we could say, yeah, no, she definitely deserves to be back in Sparking Zero. The next character is Spike the Devilman, or just known as Akuma, I believe, in the original manga or Japanese. Devilman, I think, is, again, a character I just want to see come back. I love him. I would love to see more what ifs concerning Spike the Devilman, and well, it's just like a fun character. I think the next two characters I might have less likely of a chance. King Piccolo. I think we're definitely gonna get Kid Goku. I think Kid Goku is a must, but King Piccolo, I think, just has such less of a likely of a chance. I still want to see him come back, because I think he's not only one of the major Dragon Ball villains, he is a major villain just overall. And to not have him in a game like this, I think would just be a crime. I mean, yeah. But of course, we also got to talk about Tambourine, one of his more prominent henchmen. And again, I think Tambourine just deserves to come back. He was an important character. He killed Krillin. He was one of the first characters to kill a major character. I mean, at this point, we had like smaller deaths, but Krillin's death really changed the weight of everything, and Tambourine was involved with that. The next character I want to talk about is General Blue. Again, I mean, when I was a kid, I had only a few VHS tapes for Dragon Ball, and one of them was the General Blue saga, which included General Blue going to Penguin Village with and that whole run of episodes. So he's always been a character who has been in my mind, a character who I always associate with the Red Ribbon Army more than characters like Violet, General Silver, and yeah, so I think he definitely should be in this game. Peel Off Machine. Now, this one I think might get cut. I think Peel Off Machine's getting cut, but I would love to have the Peel Off gang return in this game. I loved Peel Off gang. I mean, first major villains of the series, bring back the peel-off machine. They're funny characters. I love their transformation. And we're going to get to that in a second about characters like that, but I would love to see the peel-off game return. Now, the next character I want to see come back from the past games is Android 8 or Mater. Did I call him Mater? Ader. I loved Android 8's inclusion in that one what-if story between the two kind-hearted androids. One of the best stories that Dragon Ball video game has ever given us. I think Ader should return. And the last Dragon Ball character I'm going to be talking about is Grandpa Gohan. Once again, I mean, one of the most emotional parts of the original Dragon Ball run. Grandpa Gohan deserves to come back. I would love to see some more interactions, I guess. I don't know really who else he could interact with at this point, but I would love to see Grandpa Gohan in this game. Now, the next few characters I'm going to be talking about are from Dragon Ball Z, and they're mostly villains. Honestly, I think pretty much every single character I want to talk about right now is a villain or a bad person at some point. The first one is the first Dragon Ball Z movie villain, Garlic Jr. I just feel like he isn't talked about enough. I feel like nobody really remembers him, and it's a shame. I think Garlic Jr. definitely deserves to come back because he's a more prominent movie villain than most people give him credit for. Not only was he the first villain for a Dragon Ball Z movie, I'm talking about just Z, but he also got his own filler arc, which, I mean, you don't see that happening for Lord Slug. So, yeah. Next one is Dr. Willow, one of my favorite inclusions in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I remember when I unlocked him in the original game, I was just like blown away because I was like, wow, they got Willow in this game. But I think that I would love to see him. And with saying that, I think giant characters just need to come back. Bring back giant characters. I get past few Dragon Ball games not doing giants. I don't care anymore. We gotta bring these bad boys back. Next character I want to see is Fasha/Celebi. She was the female Saiyan in Bardock's group. I was always shocked when she was playable in Budokai Tenkaichi. I was legitimately shocked. But I loved her inclusion. Loved it. I want to see her return. I also didn't mention in the last video, I would be really good with Gine getting into the game. And imagine a freaking interaction between those two Saiyan girls, bro. Let's go. And even further beyond that, because obviously stuff like Kale and Khalifa, and yeah, it's just like they're gonna get into the game. So I just love to see those interactions. I want to see them. Next character is a character I always loved that got in the game was Babidi. I thought that was such a funny choice. I love that his moveset consisted of Whipui and Yarkon. And with that saying, also Spubovich. This was a character was one of the last characters I unlocked in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 as a kid. I never knew who that last spot went to. The fact it went to Spubovich, I thought it was just funny. I just thought it was funny. I think, these characters are memorable enough. And I also did mention in the last video, hey, I want that Babidi henchman. So let's just bring it. I just love the Majin so much. I just want to see more of the Majin representation because I feel like they don't get represented as much as, say, the androids or like Frieza forces. But we need that Majin representation. They are the final arc. The next one is King Vegeta. There is a lot they can do with King Vegeta, especially now that we have these new Saiyans introduced, and just I think King Vegeta definitely should come back. With that said, also King Cold. I think King Cold at this point definitely can also come back. I mean, interactions with Gold and Frieza, he's gonna be like, "Oh, son, I should do that." What you talking about? But I would really love to see King Cold come back. The last character I want to see, and again, everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa, what's your obsession with grunts?" Is Frieza Soldier. Bring him back. I think he deserves to be in the game. That's all I got for you guys. Get out of here.